This new game demo I have to show you might use the unit callout sounds and music directly taken from C&C Generals, but mass conflict ignition is not a mod. This is an entire new indie project created from the ground up by a team of almost 30 passionate and veteran developers. They have made this demo to showcase their idea for a C&C Generals successor and to gain both support from you as gamers and new money infusion from potential investors to go on to full production. Yes, you will notice that the current gameplay loop of this demo is based very closely on the US faction from the original Generals, as well as the units and buildings, along with the sounds and music I already mentioned. But what powers this demo is the Unity engine and the code and gameplay these talented developers have made themselves. So under the hood, it is not a mod or a remake, but a demo for a totally new game that is just, well, let's say, wearing the C&C General skin, as that is the kind of a game they're going to make. But a successor, not a copy, despite what it might look and sound right now. I am stressing this point because I know how hard it will be for you to not jump into the comment section right now and say ripoff, stolen assets or copy-pasted game. And to tell you the truth, I felt the same way, and I am conflicted even as I'm making this video. I have called out similar ripoffs in the past, like what the indie team behind Barkan has done, copy-pasting the Dune 2000 and just changing the names of the factions. But this video is not about a project like that. What you see here is not a Steam asset flip game trying to get you to buy it, but just a demo to show off an idea these developers have for a future game they want to build, and the way in which they want to do it in, with modern graphics and fantastic textures, and a lot more planned if you want to stay here and hear me out. If not, there is a link up here and below for more new RTS games I have found that are in full development or already playable. If these developers manage to find investors to go into full production of their envisioned C&C General successor, they want to make it bigger and better in 3 important ways. First of all, they plan to have a total of 10 asymmetrical factions in the full mass conflict ignition game. But they will start with 3 in an early access version, so we as gamers can play and give them direct feedback from which they will work on the game and improve it step by step. This is their second important pillar of development, for us as their audience and players to be directly involved in giving feedback and leading these developers to create an RTS game we enjoy to play. And not only that, but create content ourselves using our world editor. Next, they want the game to be comprised of a campaign mode with old school cinematics that C&C Universe had, along with various game modes for both casual players and esports enthusiasts. Meaning the full game would have co-op modes, single-player challenges, and wacky multiplayer modes for fun, along with tournaments and a competitive multiplayer environment in which to foster a future esports around this game. This is their third pillar of game production, as some of these developers are longtime C&C Generals tournament players and winners. There are also 2 more huge game modes planned that these developers told me about. One is a voice-controlled system like Tom Clancy's End War had. It would be called Voice Control Commander mode, and we as players would be able to command everything via voice, like an actual general or commander would, thanks to current AI technology advancements. So we would be able to say, build defensive buildings in the middle lane, or send out 3 main battle tanks through the left lane, and send 5 fast air units through the right lane. The game would understand this and execute the orders. This was the only mention of AI creative tools during my conversation with the developers, so I hope this will be the extent of it. Using AI for a lot of other things isn't something I'm for right now. Maybe the tech will become better and more reliable in the future, but I'm not a big supporter of AI in game development right now, especially not of those large language models. Feel free to share your thoughts on the use of AI in game development in the comments below. I would love to read them. Your comments, not your thoughts. I'm not Yuri. The other big gameplay mode they told me about was basically a massive multiplayer mode that would cut base building but add map conquest. It is an idea that would work similar to how in Total War games you have just the battles with no map unit production. You choose units and fight it out. But on the main world map, you would choose a team and a starting location, and your battle victories would let you conquer new territories until your side dominates the map. Winners would get rewards and losers, well, a rematch. All of this content will of course require a lot of money to make, and it means that after securing these new funds they are looking for from investors, they would start on an 18 months roadmap to release. Their plan is to release a full game on all the PC game distribution platforms first, meaning Steam, GOG, Epic and so on, and then on console platforms as well. On these consoles, they want the controls to be fairly easy to use with a gamepad, similarly to how it worked for Halo Wars 2 on Xbox One. I personally love the idea to make this playable on consoles, and so many console players are yearning for more good RTS games to come their way, as they often tell me in chat and comments. They have so few full RTS games and even fewer ports these days, despite there being an untapped market for such games on their systems. Anyway, the first public build of Mass Conflict Ignition would be playable as early access a year after production starts with 3 asymmetrical factions. A beta of the full release would be made after another half a year of testing and development with player feedback. Personally, I find these timed goals unrealistic when it comes to all my experience with other similar indie projects. I love the enthusiasm, but even with 30 indie developers and only private investors to fund them, I wouldn't hold my breath to see this done in such a short time. Also, they haven't explained how long would a full release beta last for, and I personally dislike a full release being called a beta, so they need to work on these plans a little while longer in my book. I must admit, they do have interesting ideas on how to attract future players, with a big tournament and a $100,000 prize pool. This isn't unlike what Stormgate and Zero Space developers have done themselves in their own development and advertising of their games, but it is a considerably larger amount of money. I would love to hear, have you been part of any of those tournaments and what you think of the whole idea in the comments below. The whole tournament mechanic is planned to be a huge pillar of Mass Conflict Ignition, with regular tournaments, players creating a community around them, establishing their own teams, and challenging each other. The developers have plans for lots of tools both for leaderboard and communication inside the game to make this easier for the players to organize. These are all huge plans to be sure, but I am very skeptical of such grand scale plans with only a demo using another game for its skin right now. So while I like their vision, I have to remain grounded in the present. Considering everything these ambitious developers plan, they don't want to just make an RTS game, but an RTS platform and stay relevant for decades, like C&C Generals has done. But honestly, I would be happy if they just managed to make C&C Generals 2.0 and let us simply enjoy it. I would pay good money for that. Would you? Thank you for watching and happy gaming.